Yes, it is live. You can start.
Thank you, Dr. Satish, for doing that. And I welcome everyone who is joined us today, on this particular topic, a very important topic in the Digital Tech in Pharma series being hosted by PharmaState Academy and MyRx in partnership. Today, we also have brand Innerworld to support us in this event. And what about this topic? You see, if I talk about social media, everyone is there. Everyone, none of us, since you all are in Zoom today, none of us are actually untouched by social media. Whether we say it's good, whether we blame it, whether we say it is responsible for such and such wrong activities, you cannot escape it. Social media, you cannot escape it. As a person, as a corporate, as a company, no one can escape social media. And even myself, means we may have contacted a company on social media for our issues, for getting something, for raising a complaint. I have done that. And almost everyone may have done that through social media. We contact companies through social media as if they are personalities. We want them to respond. We want them to answer us for something. So that is how social media has gained a lot of importance. And in this DTIP series, this is the 5th session, we are touching upon the topic of social media management for pharma companies. The speakers, I don't think I need to introduce anyone here now. Sourav Das, he has been the speaker for DTIP series for us. Digital Tech in Pharma, a person who has had a wonderful experience in pharma, healthcare, and digital, all three together. Welcome, Sourav. And then we have Gauri Chaudhari ma'am, brand Innerworld, and a wonderful speaker, writer. Recently, I read a wonderful article written by her in ET, I think. And she was talking about generics and branded things. She is a healthcare and pharma brand strategist with over 27 years of experience in branding, marketing, and advertising, and author of one of the wonderful books, The Perfect Pill. So this is a short introduction I'll give. Sourav has been there, will be there for the next 12 sessions, and I would like Gauri ma'am also to join in for more sessions in this series, because this is the need of the hour, this is the talk of the town. And let us see what our speakers have to say today on this topic. We'll start with Ms. Gauri Chaudhary talking about this topic, social media management. I'll rather extend and elaborate and request Gauri ma'am and Sourav to please touch upon personal image also, how a personality, as a personality, we should be there on social media along with the personality of a pharma company that you're going to explain. Over to you, Gauri ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Swati, for this wonderful session. And it's always my pleasure to interact with wonderful audience who always, takes out time on Sunday morning, which I know is not easy. So I'm really thankful to all of you, the audience, PharmaState and MyRx, because these are very important issues to be discussed. And as Swati rightly said, it has to be discussed. So what we'll do today, we'll have a very, very, short presentation to give out our views. And maybe we can actually have actual questions and the real queries and the real life challenges, which we can discuss and we can answer and we can, debate, etc. So let me begin with sharing my screen. Roughly 20 minutes is what I will take. And anywhere, if you have any query, just raise your hand or put the conversation in the chat box, and we can take it at the end of the session. So basically, social media management for pharma companies, and that's the topic we are talking about today. So just give me a second. Yeah. So have you all gone through this kind of experience? Sometimes we feel we should do it. So this is a very, age-old dilemma. Prince Hamlet actually faced it, and all brand managers today face it. Should we not? To be or not to be? And more important question for any pharma manager is actually, will it increase my prescription or sale of my brand? or will it not? I mean, that's the fundamental question. I mean, nobody here is coming and saying that, oh, we don't like social media, oh, we don't want to do it. Everyone wants to do it. But given the limited time, the finite time a brand manager has, the finite financial support or the resources he or she has, in that case, how is social media going to help me? Is it just going to add one burden, or will it actually help me in increasing prescription or sale of my brand? And that's the fundamental question everyone is rightly saying. I just have a small story to tell here. Actually, the story is about this little boy. The boy was looking for something, and he was desperately looking for something all the time for an hour or so. And there was another man there. He said, well, what are you looking for? And he says, I lost my little toy. So he says, oh, okay. So I'll help you. So he said, where exactly did you lose it? The boy said, I lost it in my classroom. So the man was a little surprised. He said, then why are you looking for it here, outside the school, in the garden? And he says, the school is shut. Now, all of us can laugh at this little boy and his innocence. But in reality, isn't the situation similar to what pharma brand managers face every day? They all are looking for something. What are they looking for? They're looking for customers' time and attention. And where are they looking for it? Is it that they are actually looking for it where customers exist today? Probably no. Customers do exist in their hospitals, and I mean, particularly doctors and patients, both in the hospitals, in the clinic. But all of them are also there glued to their desktops or mobile phones, because all of them are on social media. So here I'm not saying they're not in clinics. Of course, they are in their clinics. Of course, they are giving us their time there. Of course, they are giving certain amount of attention there. But they are also there on the social media. And then why not go and catch them there? And that's the logical question probably everyone has. So why are doctors on social media? Basically, they are there for authentic and credible information. Also, they are there for entertainment and networking. But this authentic and credible information, which has become more and more difficult to find despite there is tsunami of information, they are actually looking for something that's credible and authentic. And that's why they are there. So if brand enhances these opportunities, they start engaging with customers. So as a brand manager or brand custodian, if I give them what they really want or what they are looking for on the social media, they start getting engaged. Now, this rule is the same even in clinic or outside clinic promotion. If you are giving your customer what they are really looking for, they start engaging with us. Here is some statistics. Like as per 2021 International Journal of Telemedicine, which has covered Indian doctors, they said 97.3% of Indian doctors are on one or the other social media. And very interestingly, some of these doctors, and actually many of these doctors, are also there to cut the misinformation. Like Dr. Sid Warrior, who has 51K followers, talks about neurological issues. He talks about all the problems patients have. Sometimes I have seen even doctors interacting with him, asking questions related to chronic pain or pain related to neurology. Dr. Ridhima Shetty is another with 32,000 followers. She talks about gynecological issues. She is there to help youngsters actually on Insta to tell how young girls and young women should take care of their health. Rashi Agrawal, she is the one who talks about mental health. So the doctors have actually taken up social media by storm in their own capacity. Some of them would be silent watcher or reader, and some of them would be active participants. So they are there. How do they spend their time on social media? Half an hour to 1 hour every day. And this is, I'm taking it from TAPME report. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry. So TAPME report says that 49% of the doctors spend half an hour to 1 hour. What do they think about social media? And here we are not talking about general internet. We are not talking about Google searches. Here we are clearly talking about, has social media helped doctors? And what do doctors say? 44% of them said it helped them a lot. And that's a great number. Another 41% say it helped them partially. So together, those who believe that it made difference to them is 85% of the doctors. Now that's a big number. And if they are finding value in social media, why should pharma brand not be there and help them get what they are looking for? Reasons why they are on social media: connect with family and friends, connect with colleagues and industry professionals, stay entertained, stay updated, and which is 82%, stay updated. And there are reasons. But very interestingly, and Dr. Swati Sinha will agree with me, mostly doctors have their family and friends also, those who are doctors. So 86% of them, even when say that they're connecting with family and friends, what they are actually connecting with other doctors. And what they're discussing are the issues that they face. So this is a very significant number for pharma not to ignore. So that's about doctors. What about general people? So the general people, health is the second most topic searched on the internet. Around 40% of the customers say that information found via social media affects the way they deal with their own health. So it has an influence in their decision making. 90% of the respondents again said, as per search engine watch, they said that 90% of respondents said that they would trust medical information shared by friends, experts, and influencers on social media. So if my friend has said something, it does influence me because I trust my friend. 41% of them, people said that social media would affect their choice of specific doctor, hospital, and medical facility. So if doctors, patients, and caregivers are there on social media, they're spending time on it, reading, reacting, and discussing. They're also ready to stay engaged on social media, and they're proactively interacting with pharma brands. And let me give you just an example of some days back, Dolo 650, which actually, people started making memes around it. They were so much in love with this brand that they were themselves creating things and they were putting it out on social media. So very interestingly, somebody said, then it was Polo, now it's Dolo. Somebody saying that Dolo, because like I took two because it says Dolo. So it was very funny memes. Or even basis Aishwarya Rai's, L'Oreal, they said 5 things, 5 problems, but 1 solution. So it was a very interesting take on Dolo a few months back. Of course, unfortunately, today we say that Dolo was the most loved brand. Today, the social media is abuzz with anti-Dolo stories. They are talking about various things which FMRI has said and how this brand has come under cloud. Yesterday, even Judge Chandrachud had something to say about the brand. So question is, who can defend Dolo and where? So the answer is only Dolo can defend itself, and where? Again, on social media. Now, why am I saying social media? Because the media somewhere does believe that there is a narrative and it is supporting that narrative. And probably their narrative might not be in line with the brand and brand's interest. But today, if Dolo has to get its story out, the rightful place for it is social media. And that's where, people are going to, because the kind of image pharma industry sometimes go through because of some of the questions, like, I wonder how 350 crore brand can bribe doctors worth 1,000 crores. So that's the story the media headlines are talking about. Now, if someone has to really get to the bottom of it, whatever it is, one has to put out stories. One has to put out the actual calculations, maybe 12 to 15% maximum advertising and sales expense brand can afford in pharma industry. So neither taking any side. All I'm saying is that brand can afford itself today on social media more than in press or public relation, largely because the world is polarized and people tend to support a certain narrative which is convenient to them. So I can defend myself only through my own handles. So having said that, I mean, the marketing wisdom says that be where your customers are. And if your doctors, patients, and caregivers are on social media, it's only logical that pharma companies and pharma brands are there. But someone will say that I had asked one fundamental question, to be or not to be. The logic does not answer the question if my prescription or sale is going to increase. So let me answer it, in next few slides. Of course, it's a huge question. So when I consult companies on social media, brand building strategies, I mean, it's a subject in itself. But just to take it out in short, in few slides, my answer is yes. Social media can actually increase brand prescription and brand sale. Now, one must know why to use it and how to use it. And we have Sourav today, who really understand the how part of the media, social media. So I'll focus slightly on why and a bit of how from brand building perspective. So I have said this so many times, and I really believe that Dude's law of value creation is the real law, because we all are here to build brand value. And what is the law? The law says value gets created by why upon how. What does that mean? When you have a strong why, your how automatically falls in place. In fact, your brand starts talking to you and it tells you how that why can be executed. So your efforts towards how start going down the minute you know why very well. So why are we on social media? That will give, so once we get the right answer for it, we know what we should be doing on social media. How should we doing it? Where? Which social media? And then finally, when? And all these answers start giving us brand strategy, which has brand objective, the content which you will use on social media, which can be tied up to your in-clinic activities, and of course, the various media you would use. So essentially, social media management, and I'm talking less from management perspective, but more from promotion perspective, because the question is always, will it increase my prescriptions or not? We have three options. One is the direct brand promotion, indirect brand promotion, or improve efficiencies of brand promotion through social media. So not a single brand or brand manager today can say that I want to stay away from social media. If you want increase in your sale, increase in prescription, you have to be there. So how does it happen? So direct brand promotion can be done if you're handling your pharma company's corporate account, because every pharma company is allowed by regulation to be on the social media. Or if you are a brand manager of OTC brand, health supplement brand, medical devices, or any non-prescription brand, you can be directly promoting your brand. And you must consider direct promotion. Now, direct promotion obviously will have some paid ads on these social networking platforms. Or if you really don't want to go that route, there is free promotion through your own handles where you can engage with customers. Next is, of course, engaging with the influencer. We have seen there are so many doctor and patient influencer just to have, the multiple discussion points. So influencers are there. Even if you don't want to go your social media route, there are influencers whom you can kind of engage or connect with to get your brand out. Now, when I say, direct promotion, we must know that we are bound by Drug and Magic Remedy Act, which got amended in 2020, which clearly got all social media and online advertising or brand mentions under the purview of this law. And we all know Drugs and Magic Remedy Act, so I'll not go much into it, but we know there should not be a false claim, there should not be misinformation, we cannot discuss real patients. We cannot put up CT scan and X-rays of the patients, so on and so forth, and everything that was already there in the original act. So to give you an example, Cetaphil is a brand which can be taken to the customers directly, to the user directly, because it's a non-prescription brand. And the way they use their YouTube channel is a very innovative way. They already have around 20,000 subscribers, and they talk about the skin and the skin problem, which is affecting every Indian. And, recently they also launched the chat show, which actually talks about the skin problems. And it's a very funny and nice show on Z5, which they use on their, they use on YouTube, not directly through their handle, but multiple other handles. And it says it's just not chat show. And on this show, actually, Anushka Sen talks to the celebrities. She asks questions, how to handle your skin, what are the skin problems. And it's a fun show. Now and then once you have the show in place, you have all your social media handles through which you can promote it. There are multiple ways, but Cetaphil actually use this way. So if we just take it through why, we realize that Cetaphil wanted to do direct brand promotion. Their content is related to advice on skincare from those who have an expertise, for whom skin really matters, and who are the celebrities. For them, skin is very important. So how do they take care of it? And then without pushing the brand directly into it, they actually create engagement around skin and skin-related problems. The medium, strong audio-visual, because the skin has to be seen and audio has to be there. So it's audio-visual. So what one can do through direct promotion is enhance brand visibility. And we all know that brand visibility enhances brand recall, and that enhances brand sale. Out of sight is out of mind. And therefore, social media becomes very important if you can directly talk with your brand to customers. Second, of course, very important part is if you are corporate brand, or if you are a big brand who, one has to build brand image. And that is absolutely possible on social media, because the way you interact with your customers helps you build brand image. Also building brand personality, like Merck, which is the brand which is, has so many nutrition supplements, and those brands doing exceedingly well. They engage with customers, including doctors, on nutrition. A very logical subject that, they take it up, and through the brand's personality. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So when you're doing direct promotion, it's important that brand's personality is considered. So what is your brand's personality, or what personality should your brand have? To give an example, we have these three heroes in Indian cinema, and they have been there kind of dominating the cinema. But can one replace the other? Do they have the same personality? Obviously, no. Probably Shah Rukh Khan has more of romantic personality. Salman Khan is more of that macho image, muscular, alpha male. And maybe Amir Khan is more of thinker, perfectionist. And they all have their content or their cinema very, very different. Same is the case with pharma brand, or for that matter, any brand. You may have the same ingredients, same formulation, everything same, but still brands have different personalities. Augmentin's personality is different from any other amoxiclav brand, because years have gone in building it. So one has to be very careful of what is your brand's personality, or what should it be, and then get into direct promotion. So I just have put this Fevicol example here. I mean, on social media, you can see on Twitter itself, some around 42,000 followers. They always have very witty and funny communication. So their memes and what they put out matches the personality of Fevicol. Very interestingly, on this Marine Drive picture, which they tweeted some time back, they said, sometimes even we get scared to advertise. And we know why, because traffic just gets stuck, because there's a hoarding. So when they talk about Majboot Jod, they mean it and they show it through their personality. So Pfizer, when we analyze in past few years, they have been talking about caring colleague, and they make use of certain words and topics, and much higher than anyone else. So family, emotional well-being is the theme that they take, because the personality of the brand is caring colleague. GSK is the revolutionizing scientist. And when we look at their content is about the laboratory and transformational things that they do. Merck is the emotive inventor. So they make use of words like invent and everything to do with invent. So that's how, once you know the personality of your brand or the personality you want, you start creating content which actually lives that personality. So that's very, very important if you are in direct promotion. And there is no doubt that, in direct promotion, the sale would increase. But even building brand's image and brand's personality helps in getting more prescriptions. For example, in my book, I have put out the 𝐃-𝐓𝐈𝐏𝐒 study, which says that the brand is directly, that is the brand sale is directly proportional to expected personality of the brand. And actually 𝐃-𝐓𝐈𝐏𝐒, kind of goes and explains how dynamic personality for a hypertensive brand helps the brand get more prescriptions. So it goes without saying if it is proven in the study itself. But someone will say, mine is not RX. I mean, mine is a RX brand. I can't do all this. Then what to do? I can't directly promote. Doesn't matter. We have an option of indirect promotion. So if you're a market leader, if not, even if you're a significant player in the market, even if not that, but if you have a vision and mission to be market leader, and when I say vision and mission, that means you're ready to put in those kind of resources. You're ready to reach out to those number of customers who are required for you to be a market leader, then indirect promotion is for you. So you must consider indirect promotion for doctors and patient if your brand is one of the three, position brands. So once again, you can do paid ads, free promotion, engaging with consumers. But if this indirect promotion should be avoided if you're more than 5th position brand. Why? Because the benefit will always go to the leader brand, and if not, to the brands which are significant. So don't really waste your efforts, time, money doing indirect promotion. And why here we are talking about indirect promotion? Obviously, because if yours is a prescription brand, you're not allowed to go directly there. So in indirect promotion, it's important to have a handle of your own, which obviously cannot take brand name, because you will not be allowed to do that. But creating a handle which is related to the brand name or closer to brand name is the key here. I'll show you how some brands are doing it. And what you do in indirect promotion is actually raise maybe disease awareness if it is not there, discuss treatments, or maybe combat misinformation. And misinformation, even in the medical world, which doctors are facing, maybe crisis communication, or maybe answer certain queries. And list can go on and on. But without taking your brand name, the disease, the treatment, and everything else around it can be talked. And because customers are interested, they will stay engaged. So in indirect promotion, basically what you do is you discuss on topics aligning to your marketing strategy. So if your strategy currently is to increase diagnosis, go in that area. If your strategy is to increase adherence amongst patients, go in that area and discuss without mentioning your brand name. You can use Twitter, doctors groups, influencers, and here not to forget researchers, because they are the one who keep updating information. And again, if you want to go to patients, probably, again, disease awareness, diagnosis, signs, symptoms, treatments, and adherence can be there. Your medium would change. Your medium would be mainly all other media handles, and maybe developing patient communities. Will the indirect promotion has a potential to increase prescription and sale? Of course, yes. Once again, yes. Because if you are a leader brand, you have to grow the category. And when you're growing the category, you need to build awareness, diagnosis, treatment algorithms. And in an indirect way, you can do it. The benefit will come to you because you are a significant brand there. Rule of the game, keep the brand name and social media or online handle name close to each other. So your brand name and your handle name cannot be the same, but can be very close to each other. Keep the brand hallmark same, keep the colors, the vocabulary, the tone, like we saw how brand personalities of corporate brands were improved. So all those things, using the right content and the right words in the content. And that's what I mean when I say hallmarks. Understand the needs, what doctors and patients are looking for. Be authentic, credible, honest, and transparent. Here is just an example where Alkem's brand Donap is actually, they have created a handle Don app or Don app, and which is pretty close to the brand name. Hallmarks could have been, slightly closer, but okay, that's how they're actually creating discussions and they're engaging with customers. This is just one example. There are so many other and so many in the international markets outside India. The point I'm making here is that when you can't use your brand name directly, create a property through which you will kind of engage with customers. Third question, I'm neither an OTC brand nor a leader. How can social media help me? I'm beyond fifth brand. I can't do indirect promotion because the benefit will go to the leader. In that case, how it helps me? Yes, of course, it helps you by improving efficiencies of brand promotion. Now, what do I mean by that? What I essentially mean by that, you must get into social listening. Now, social listening is so critical. Every brand manager must be on social media just to listen what kind of conversations are happening there. I was going through this thread, where some doctor had a patient with a kind of cancer and he had tweeted it with and within few minutes, like by afternoon, he kind of got an answer from the USA doctor who actually said that, look, this is what, this patient has, you should look at these treatment options. And somebody actually went on and said that there's a clinical trial happening. Your patient can get, admitted to that particular clinical trial. And when I was reading this conversation, it was filled with options, choices, algorithms, therapy areas, etc., etc. And then I realized that these conversations can give immense insight to our brand managers. They talk about patient journeys. They talk about doctor journeys. They talk about these algorithms. They talk about motivations, demotivations, and challenges. And once you know that part, because they are discussing there, you know that, and you create content around it, there's no chance that your customer will not listen to you, because that's exactly what they are looking for and they're talking about. So we can learn that and use doctor opinion leaders or influencers, to get our target customers. So you may listen to something, you may not have your own handle, you may not have your own brand on social media, but you can always connect to an influencer. Talk to the influencer and request the influencer to talk about the various issues which are actually troubling people. And here the rules of the game, of course, is don't manipulate. Don't be dishonest. When you're using an influencer, they don't take money. I mean, they are not supposed to take money. And by latest guidelines, even they are prohibited from doing certain things. But when you're using DOLs, you can be honest, don't manipulate what has to be said, but get the conversation on, because your DOLs have followings and they have capacity to influence. And while listening to social conversations, also need to be dispassionate. There will be a time the conversation will be against your brand or against the molecule that you're promoting. Be dishonest. Just listen to it and find the value if you can create out of it. So in the nutshell, I hope I've not taken too much of time. Doctors and patients are on social media and they are ready to get engaged with us. We need to be there because our customers are there. There are three clear options. One is direct promotion, indirect promotion, or use of social media to increase efficiency of our brand promotion. And need to get the whys and hows of it really, really right. If you do that, there is no chance that your brand's sale and prescription both will not increase. It has to increase because you're giving what your customers really, really need. So thank you so much. And whenever at the end of the session, we can take all the questions. So thank you.
Thank you, Gauri ma'am. Wonderful way of putting the idea across. You have even given solutions rightly for the brand leader, not the brand leader, how to do things in a smart way. Thank you so much, Gauri ma'am. And we will start with the presentation with Mr. Sourav now. And later, both the educators will be there to answer your queries. Some of you may not be very, feeling confident of being on social media. I hope this session helps you in gaining that confidence. Over to Mr. Sourav Das.
Thank you. Thank you, Swati. Good morning, everyone. So it was really nice of Gauri ma'am giving such an insight and in such a precise way. So at least we now know that social media is important. Social media is vital. So I will be taking you through how of the social media and how to manage it, in fact. Swati, just let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, it is, sir.
Is it perfect now?
Yes, good to go.
Okay. So yeah, this is the 5th station of Digital Tech in Pharma series. We already have another 8 session coming up. So before the social media, we have touched upon various vital topics like QR codes, along with that SEO and along with that microsites. So now social media management for pharma, although we will be focusing on the pharma part, but this will also be focusing on the individual social media handles, how you can also use social media for your own brand building. Before we start, getting started in this chapter, what we will learn, so there are 4 or 5 chapters actually. I will try to be as precise as possible, but considering the vastness of the topic, in fact, it is too vast, I'll just try to keep it in time. And the first chapter will cover 3 major things, 4 key points to consider before creating a social media strategy. The difference between popular social networks at this point, which is available, and the best practices for top social media network. So these all are updated data. This we have tried to collect it with our experience, and along with that, we have been working continuously with Pharma and along with that other brands. So this is some point will be industry standard. Some points are like our own experience, talking to various brands, various companies. So we just tried to put it all across in these slides. Okay, so the key strategy considerations. First and foremost thing, before going and before jumping into social media, we just need to have the strategy right. So it is actually said that if you plan perfectly or a diligent plans, your social media management will be really a cakewalk, in fact. So for making it seamless, flawless, you need to have a great strategy, and the strategy which is supposed to be created in the beginning, it should not be adamant. It should be agile enough to change on time-to-time basis and along with the results, in fact. So when I'm coming to the key strategy consideration, there are 4 important things to address. First is understanding your customer. Second is setting a goal. Goal setting is very important for social media. The third one will be creating a mission statement, and the fourth one is develop a content strategy. So once you are clear about your social media goals, if you are clear about your audiences, if you are clear about your mission, then you develop a content strategy, in fact. Coming to the first part, understanding your customer, you need to understand who are your customer and where you can find them online. So suppose, for an example, my audience comprises of women aged 25 to 35. So primarily my social media should be, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So every brand is associated with some elements, and some elements is associated with some humans, in fact. So we need to understand those persons who are taking decisions or who are suffering from the pain or who are there, where they are found, which platform they are using, and I will try to elaborate this thing in my coming slides also. The second part is setting a goal. You need to benchmark, you need to have a goal for each and every social media profile that you are creating. So each and every social media, if I'm talking about the top social medias like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so your strategy, your goal should be different for Facebook, your goal should be different for Instagram, your goal should be different for Twitter, in fact. So for an example, I want to increase my new follower count on Facebook by 500 each month. to amplify my brand and drive sales. So this should be a quantifiable goal, in fact, and we already have a lot of management decision how to set a goal, and what all, like the similar practices will be there for the social media goal setting also. The third part is creating a mission statement. So suppose mission statement, this is not like, creating a mission statement of your brand or your company and publishing it outside, but this is the mission statement for your internal team, the team which is going to manage your social media, the team which is going to manage your brand. So it is a statement like, what is the purpose? What is the sole purpose of creating my social media and being available on the social media? For example, I will use Twitter for customer service in order to promote customer loyalty. So this is my mission statement for Twitter. Similarly, you can have your mission statement for your Facebook account, for your WhatsApp, for your YouTube account also. And once this all strategies are like these three things are figured out, you need to develop a content strategy for each profile. For example, I want to post 2 unique images on Instagram each day to increase the engagement and positive sentiments around my brand. So this all things, how to post, when to post, what to post, how many times to post. So these all things should come up in your strategy part. So this is about a high level strategy and how to create a strategy. Let us go to the next part, popular social media. Now here we will try to go ahead with the anatomy of the social media accounts, social media platforms which are available, and we will try to dissect each and every social media. So first and foremost thing, Facebook. Facebook, being the largest social media, is being used by billions of users, and the MAU, which is monthly active users, today stands around 2.9 billion. 2.9 billion globally users are on Facebook, and that are the monthly active user. When we go ahead, male versus female ratio, 56% male profiles are there in Facebook and 44% female profile. Now let us come to the age group part. 48% of the users are aged 18 to 34, youngster, millennials, and 31% people are 35 to 54. So practically we have somewhat around 89% of the users in Facebook who are the decision maker of their families, in fact, who are supposed to influence the decision of their family. Some more interesting information about Facebook, how it is perceived. Social media network, it is a leader in the social media audience with a large focus on interactions with friends and families. So friends and family, it's something like, if something is coming from friends and family, it is actually associated with a trust factor. So what we can say is like Facebook can be used to influence persons through their friends and family. So this is the key takeaway from Facebook part. Coming to the Instagram, monthly active user base has significantly increased after the banning of TikTok and during the COVID time. Earlier, Instagram was 450 million approximately monthly active users. Now, Instagram has become much more powerful with 2 billion monthly active users. So when I'm talking about the male versus female, 68% female are there in Instagram, 32% males. Age group, 90% of the users are under 35 years old. So when you are targeting anything within this age group, Instagram will be a very, very vital platform. And how it is perceived, it is perceived as a platform for visual content. So we cannot go ahead with posts, we cannot go ahead with blogs, but yeah, any kind of infographics, images or videos. In fact, the shots, in fact, the reels part. So these are the way of interactions or engagement through Instagram. Now coming to Twitter, Twitter has a very corporate flavor. In fact, now every brand which we are seeing at this point of time, they are all active on Twitter. Twitter has a monthly active user base of 436 million, 62% female, 38% male. Age group is like 70.6% of users are 15 to 54. It is an open network geared towards the conversation via short messages. 140 characters. We all must be knowing about the restriction of Twitter, but this has made Twitter a solid customer support and audience voice raising applications, what we can say. So wherever anything goes with the brand or anything, informations has to be seeked by a consumer from the brand, Twitter is the #1 platform for customer support, in fact. Now coming to YouTube is something what we can say as the king of the social media when it comes to video. YouTube cannot be ignored anymore. A lot of companies have already started using YouTube, and we are also giving a lot of time to YouTube. Either it is entertainment, either it is health, either it is education. So YouTube is the wonderful video hosting and sharing platform. 2.2 billion monthly active users, and along with that 54% male and 46% female. 48% of the users are aged 18 to 34 and 31% are aged 35 to 54. The next is LinkedIn. LinkedIn user monthly active user. Okay, when I'm talking about this monthly active user, it does not mean that the total number of user. It is something like every month how many active users are there. So LinkedIn, having at least 800+ million profiles at this point of time, have more than 250 million monthly active users. 39% female, 61% male. And along with that, when you're talking about the age group, it is like 60% of the users are aged 25 to 54. So majorly the working public. So again, this is like, all the social media platforms have their unique essence, in fact. So when you're targeting the audiences which are in the working category, maybe LinkedIn strategy will be a better in comparison to Instagram or Facebook. Some more information about LinkedIn: social network geared toward building professional connections to aid career development. But however, this can be a beautiful platform for influencing, because assuming like suppose you are the earning hand of your family, you are in the professional network, and you want to understand anything about the health, and you want to support your parents staying away from you, it is something like you are taking the decisions. So influencing you is like the working public is important. So in LinkedIn can be a good influencer platform. Now coming to the last one, which is Pinterest. I have just tried to touch upon 6 major social media network. And apart from that, when you are talking about social media, there are a lot of public information which are available. So popular 6, we are taking it up. But yeah, again, what I can say is like you can choose and select your social media on a engagement basis with other platforms also. When I'm coming to Pinterest, Pinterest has significantly grown its monthly average or monthly active users to 433 million. Pinterest is dominated by females, 83% female and 17% male. The age group is 45% of the users are between 35 and 54. It is a place to build virtual collections of visual content pertaining to personal interest. So it can be any hobby, it can be anything. So when people are getting connected towards their interest, so Pinterest is such a platform which is supposed to capture the interest of the audiences. Now, this is a very vital side: choosing the best social media and the social media best practices. A lot of us will be having a question like, how many times should I post? What all are the when to post? Should we use hashtag? So perhaps I will take a detailed discussion about it, comparing the 7 social. One is Snapchat, but let me restrict myself to the first 6. So what should be the posting frequency? Facebook is 1 to 4 posts per week is sufficient. Instagram, 1 to 7 per week. When it comes to Twitter, as because it is a short messaging app, so it is something like 2 to 10 posts per day, including your retweets and your replies. When you're coming to YouTube, it should be weekly or as and when applicable, what we can say SOS. And instead, when I'm coming to LinkedIn, it is like 1 to 7 posts per week, and Pinterest will be 3 to 14 post per week. When to post? When relevant to audience. So it is like you can have a persona of your audience, like when your audiences are getting active. This will only happen once you have started your social media posting, and you will be seeing that on your post, you can drive it, like when the majority likes or follows or comments are coming to your post. So you can do it on your audience basis. It will vary from brand to brand, post to post, person to person, company to company, depending upon your audience. So you need to figure it out what time or what hours of the day the maximum engagements are coming for your post. The Instagram, same, when the audience is online. So you have to target the online audiences first, because millions and millions of contents are getting created in Instagram. So you have to choose the peak hours when the audiences are active, and then only you can go ahead and post, so that the chances of delivering your post to the right audience increases significantly. When it comes to Twitter, it is spread out through the day. Any time is good, because now Twitter posts are directly coming in your Google, the third link of your Google searches. So that is something like when you're talking about 2 to 10 posts or 2 to 10 tweets in a day, it is something, it can be spread across 12 to 14 hours, in fact. YouTube is similar as Instagram. Whenever your audiences are online, you need to post it. And when to post in LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, assuming that LinkedIn is majorly used during the office hours and sometimes used off office hours, but yeah, your post should be like during the daytime, possibly from 9 to 6. And the number of posts we have already seen, 1 to 7 per week. Pinterest spread out through the day, because anyhow Pinterest, the engagement part is higher, the content part is lower in comparison to Facebook and Instagram. So you can spread out your post altogether throughout the days. Now coming to the very vital thing, hashtags. So we generally have seen a lot of posts coming with a lot of hashtags. So first and foremost thing, what is hashtag? We put hashtag in every post. So it is actually for content segregation and content discovery. We generally put a hashtag for indexing purpose. We want, like, anybody using that hashtag will get all the relevant posts related to that hashtag. So suppose you are creating your own brand, so your hashtag brand will be your hashtag, and you try to put all your posts. So next time onwards, whenever a person or an audience is trying to search that hashtag or clicking on the hashtag, all your relevant contents or your post related to that hashtag will reflect over there. But hashtag has its own, sweet essence, in fact, in the post. In Facebook, what is advisable is, like, it is a limited search functionality. So you can maximum add 1 or 2 hashtag per post. It is a best practices. However, if you have more hashtags, you can add it up. But yeah, it is an industry, it is actually audience behavior. When more hashtags are there in Facebook, the posts are generally skipped. When it comes to Instagram, you can have 20 to 30 hashtags in a post, in a single post, in fact. In a Twitter account, 1 or 2 per tweet. And in YouTube, you can use very good descriptions having your keywords, so that at least any person searching the keywords will be coming up. Hashtag uses, you can do it. But anyway, the description should be perfect in YouTube channels. When it comes to LinkedIn, it is recommended 1 to 5 per post. And in Pinterest, it is recommended 3 to 5 per post. Okay, now coming to this, type of content which are consumed by the audience in different social media platform. The best performing content is photos and videos. Subject matter doesn't matter. Any kind of photos and videos are supposed to get more engagement in Facebook rather than long posts, which is like, they have to read it. So it is not an article sharing platform. People have a tendency, they have a mindset that they will be looking into the videos, they will be looking into the photos, in fact. Similarly with Instagram is anyhow like image and video sharing platform. So photos and short videos is good for Instagram. When it comes to Twitter, it is like questions, queries, polls, surveys, or any kind of multimedia things with the photographs, with a pic, with a video will work good with Twitter. In YouTube, it is generally product review, how to, educational video. These are the different types of videos which are getting consumed. I will be focusing on this educational videos part. So Pharma having, a lot of FAQs, like foreign ailments. So educational videos will be one good thing to start with YouTube part. When it comes to LinkedIn, it can be your news, your corporate reviews, corporate news, along with that, any kind of updates, your new joinees, your policies, or you have done any significant things. So these all things will be coming, and article sharing is really good in LinkedIn. So you cannot share you should not share article in Facebook or Instagram. But the thing is, like in LinkedIn, you can share your articles, you can have backlinks to your articles directly from LinkedIn. And the interest part for Pinterest is like style, home, food and beverages, beauty. So it makes it a woman-centric platform. So beauty products, supplements. So these are the different things which can be well promoted in Pinterest. Now, coming to the ideal length of the content or the videos. So Facebook, 1 minute video, 1 minute for video and 5 minutes for live videos, not beyond that, because majority of the people drop out after 5 minutes. So 1 to 5 minutes video is a good start for Facebook. When it comes to Instagram, only 30 seconds, not even 31 seconds, because majority of the perceptions and Instagram has become for shorts. It is like 30 seconds and your message should be clear and steady. When it comes to Twitter, maximum 45 seconds. Okay, but when I'm talking about this 1 minute or 30 seconds or 45 seconds, this is what we have found out in our campaigns, which campaigns are like with continuous testing since last 4 or 5 years, we have derived this part. But however, you can choose for, and you can have a longer video if you want, and you can do your testing yourself. When it comes to YouTube, ideal length will be 2 minutes. But yeah, if you are going ahead with a longer video, 10 to 15 minutes of video is fair enough. But the only thing is like, just check your interest of your audiences. So otherwise you will be having 10 to 15 minutes video, but people will be dropping out only after 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So that will be the bounds of the videos. When it comes to LinkedIn, 1 to 2 minutes video or 1 to 2 minutes read is sufficient. And beyond that, you will be finding it difficult to grab the attentions. So content tips, in Facebook, you should write short and catchy videos, and you should respond to comments, in fact. In Instagram, real-time photos of real things. Try to avoid any Photoshop or any kind of infographics in Instagram. It should be particularly the product image, the live images, so people will engage on that better. When it comes to Twitter, it will be mixed content of retweets, tweets, and reply, and try to participate in chats also. In YouTube, the content tip is supposed to be clear purpose for video, a compelling storyline, and a variety of video topics, in fact. So you should have a mix of different video topics, so that at least you will be knowing which kind of videos are working for you in YouTube and which are not working. And then when it comes to the LinkedIn part, it is more about the positive and relevant content, add images and video, and create a value for your audience. So LinkedIn is supposed to be B2B majorly, and the remaining 5 will be B2C. So you can create your content according to this mindset. When you're talking about the Pinterest, it will be variety of content, create multiple boards, and curate content from other sources also. You can also curate the content, you can club it, you can put it in one interest area, and you can put it up into Pinterest part. And then the last thing will be audience building tip. Once the audiences are created, either you create it in your page, you create it in your groups, whatever you create, but once your audience are there, how you can build more audience, it is like post consistent and engaging content. So it is something like, when I'm talking about this 1 to 4 weeks, generally what happen, people start up something with a lot of enthusiasm. So they usually go ahead and try to put 1 to 4 posts a week. Then they used to follow this calendar. But going forward, due to other activities, we generally ignore the power of the social media, and we are not consistent in our posting part. So what happens? You generally lose your audiences. In fact, when you are not posting consistently, if you have a capacity to post 10 posts in Facebook per week, just try to restrict it to 4 or 5 and try to repeat it in the second week and third week, and you have to drive it through the content part. So engagement on the post can happen through the replies. Whenever there is a comment in your Facebook post, or try to respond to it. Try to bring the audience to one-on-one chat through messengers. So every platform have their own chat mechanism. So try to engage. This will bring more trust with your audience. And apart from that, this will build up your audience list. Audience building tip in Instagram will be using hashtag and engaging with the audience. So it is commenting, recommending, and along with it, addressing and understanding. So Twitter will be tweet more often, use hashtag and participate. When in YouTube, you definitely have to search about the optimization of your keywords and optimization of your content, and your post should be consistent. It is nothing like you're posting 1 year, one video. So that will be a bad practices. Anything like 1 or 2 video per week will be a good start for those pharma company who are just starting for the social media. This also stands very true for your individual and personal brand also. If you're trying to create your own brand, just try to follow this part. It is like, very similar line for the pharma as well as the personal brand also. When you come to the LinkedIn part, add your connect to your contacts to your network. Try to grow your network, having no restriction on the followers part. Try to build up audiences in LinkedIn. And when your audiences are built up, try to engage them with the different type of contents. It can be news, it can be polls, it can be surveys, it can be articles, it can be videos, it can be anything, infographics or anything. So this is a part wherein I have just made a social media best practices for your pharma industry. Okay, now the next section or the next chapter will be developing an effective content strategy. Here we will be focusing on 3 different things: understanding your brand position and voice. This you have to answer yourself. Then second thing is creating a content calendar and why it is important. So, and the third thing is type of content and communications. Let us quickly go through it. So when you're talking about a brand position, these are the 6 questions which you need to ask yourself. What is your brand position and what is the voice of the brand? What issues are important to your brand? What issues you are addressing? What elements you are addressing? You should have a clear-cut communication on that part. The third question is, how do external parties refer to your brand, such as the media, the industry, or the experts? Like how your KOLs, how your doctors, how your patients, how your experts in the industries are looking towards your brand. You need to understand that. So sometimes it is more than a brand selling. It is more than creating a perspective and creating a responsibility of the brand. In fact, going ahead and answering the queries is the basic need of your brand. What is the community interested in when they are talking? They aren't talking about your brand or directly to you. So you need to understand when people are not directly talking to you, what is going wrong and what is the interest of the community. Are you posting something which is not interesting them, which is not exciting them? So you need to figure out this thing in your brand position. Then the historical performance, if you have any historical performance, now on, whenever you are putting up a post, just try to engage like that, just try to analyze the response, who are responding, how they are responding, how many times they have, how many comments you have received. So these all are the historical performance, which will be easier for you in posting and reposting in the future, wherein you can directly learn from your past experiences, your historical performance, and you can try to elevate yourself in your new post. Then the last thing will be search behavior. What do people search? when they are looking for your brand or product service. So it is something like, understanding the behavior of your audience. So when you have this answer, this will be building your strategies. In fact, this will be the base, the framework for your strategies. For the most important thing, try to inform, try to educate, try to entertain, but do not sell. Do not sell on social media. It is something like many people, they usually, what they try to do, suppose they want to create their own brand, or maybe they have a product. They will immediately come and they will say that this is the pain area, this is the solution, and this is the product, take it, the offer. Nobody is going to buy. Nobody is going to buy on that part. And if at all you are getting some responses, you will be losing lot of money on your advertisement. Again, I am saying, inform, educate, entertain your audience, but do not sell. This is the 80-20 rules. If you are posting 100 posts, 80 posts should be there for information, education, and entertainment. 20% will be silent selling. How to develop a content calendar. So it is very important. We will also try to help you out in developing a content calendar through some templates and other things. If possible, we'll be providing to you. But developing a content calendar is basically on deciding on the date, the time, the author, the audience, maybe for your blog post and the social content. Tie your content calendar closely to your business goals, in fact, so as close as possible. So suppose you have a business goals of grabbing more audiences in a group. So your content should be always focusing on converting the visitors to your followers. For example, if you have a LinkedIn account, it is meant to drive leads. Focus on the lead generation content, right? And create a content matrix that defines what percentage of your content is allocated to different type of posts. For example, just a moment. For example, you want to post, put article, which are like 50% of the articles, and we want backlinks from the articles to our landing page. So 50% post I will be putting up. This is not an industry benchmark. I'm just trying to represent it hypothetically, in fact. 25% of the content will be curated from another source. It is something like somebody else is creating a post and you are endorsing it, you are liking it, you are following it in your brand image, so brand handles. So it can be 25%. 20% should be content related to your business. Maybe 5% you can also talk about your HR and company culture. These are the major 4 categories of content when you are trying to post it in social media. However, there are other things which you can be more creative, but only thing is like try to entertain and try to engage audience. So type of content, what a pharma companies can post. In fact, I've just tried to list down 7 major things. Raise awareness, combat misinformation. There are a lot of misinformations in the market about ailments, about desi chikitsa, remedies, all these things. Try to combat that misinformation if you are able to do that. And if you have substantial backup for that, the fake information which are available, then something like crisis communications. It can be natural or artificial crisis or any crisis moment wherein you can go ahead and put up any crisis communications. Expand reach of your existing resources. So it is something like if you have journals, if you have case studies, and if you have a group of doctors who are already there and communicating on the group, you can use the social media to expand the reach of your physical resources or the digital resources, whichever you have, to narrow down audience, in fact. Then answering the common questions, which can be frequently asked questions about your ailments, about your the diseases, about the products. In fact, no direct selling, in fact, no RX selling. And public health monitoring reports. So there are a lot of agencies which are doing the public health monitoring, the rural health monitoring part. So if you can go ahead and share those reports, that will be a good input for your audiences. That can be really engaging. The charts and graphs will be really helping you to grab the attention and eyeballs, in fact. Patient engagement and support programs. You can start patient engagement and support, something like Patient Like Me. You can create some groups and you can try to do the engagement. So these are These are major type of informations where, like, many companies start social media, but they don't know what to post. So what we tried with our experience, that we have categorized the type of informations. So these are the type of informations apart from your good morning, good night, along with that, the festivals, Doctor's Day, XYZ festival calendars. So those things you can do it, but majorly the customers will be coming and engaging with your brand on a social media with this 7 type of contents. Okay, every platform has certain restriction for health, individual platform, and RX product marketing. Just try to understand the rules, regulations, and regulatories for each platforms. Remain compliant and stay secured. We don't want nobody wants litigations, or nobody wants any kind of legal actions on social media. Ensure you are not putting something which is beyond the guidelines. Okay, the next section will be driving engagement. Assuming you have all your social media handles ready, you are now having a content calendar. You have now put up all your posts regularly. So now the next thing will be driving the engagement. Everybody wants to have engagement around their brand. Everybody wants people to talk about their brands or the elements. So what are the strategies that will help you drive the engagement? This is the first part. And the tips to increase the engagement in the top social networks, I will be giving you some tips over here. There are 5 strategies. These 5 strategies will help you attain more engagement. Create dialogue. Don't do the monologue. It is something like you are posting and you are not responding to your comments, will be a monologue. So it is something like create dialogue with the customers by following up on the comments and your published content. This is very vital. So what we generally do in our personal handles, we are selected. We selectively respond to some audiences or some comments. Either it is good, either it is bad, either it is neutral, either it is negative. Just try to respond to that in a more assertive manner. At least answering to that will definitely increase engagement and build a positive rapport. In fact, if it is a negative comment also, if you are positive, if you're trying to answer it, it will create a positive mindset in other visitors or other audiences who are reading that post. The second part is measure what your content, measure what content your audience is engaging. And you try to build that type of content. So suppose you are creating videos, you are creating podcasts, you are creating images, and you are seeing that video are something which my audiences are engaging. And then also drill down what kind of videos. So frequently asked questions about some diseases is something like which is gaining more insight. Try to slowly increase the content on FAQs videos on that particular social media. Then the third part is share, mention, and compliment other people content that you like. So it is something like we cannot go like, okay, suppose we have our social media handle, we will only be posting and we will not be liking or disliking our competitors' data or anything. So any kind of post from your social media handle, corporate handle, if you are liking it, you try to mention influencer, try to share it with your groups, try to share it with your close audiences, and try to compliment other people post for their content impact. So this will not only give a lookalike audience, which it will increase your lookalike audiences, and apart from that, it will increase engagement. The fourth thing is attach image to your tweets and post to help improve engagement. So sometimes what we do is like we generally put up 140 words, 144 characters and then leave it. But yeah, one image will definitely grab attention and the image should be related to your post. So this is one tip to drive more engagement in Twitter specifically. The last is participate in the chat to learn from other and converse with your audience. So chat engagement, I have already mentioned. Chat is a very vital tool. As and when required, one person, one-on-one, it is actually a one-on-one options. You can share any post, try to initiate a chat with the audience, try to chat and try to address the queries. So these are the strategies which will help you in a long-term social media engagement with your audiences. Now, tips how to increase your engagement for top social networks. So let us first talk about Twitter. Tweet that contain photos of 35% boost in their retweets. So in fact, if you are just having a text and you are having a image associated with that text, 35% increase happens. And just try to keep your tweets 20 character less. So it is 144, try to complete it within 120, so that at least whenever there is a retweet or a comment, that can accommodate in the next 20 characters. So it will be something like it will go as a single tweet, in fact, not as a series of tweets. When it comes to Facebook, short text posts are being favored by Facebook algorithm. So there is a specific algorithm. If you are putting long post, it will not go to the majority of the public. So Facebook also support the algorithm for short text. And this will come up more frequently, in fact, the short text one. However, this algorithm keeps on changing from time to time, and it also depends upon your audience's interest. If the audiences are bound to a brand, if you are putting up 100-page articles also, they will be reading through it. And generally, it is advised that short text post should be put up in Facebook. When it comes to LinkedIn, engage by asking relevant questions. So in LinkedIn is all about the questions part. When you are talking about LinkedIn, you should ask questions, you should engage with your audiences on a poll, on a survey, and be sure to follow up on the comment as soon as possible. So this is one very important thing. Be follow up on your comment as soon as possible. I will give you an example over here. It was the year 2010, 11, 12. So the 2010 to 2012, when social media was rising, and there was a cutthroat competition between the telcos. In fact, I was there as a part of social media strategies for BSNL and simultaneously for Airtel also. So I was working with both the companies for the social media management part. So there is an interesting piece of action which happened. So there was a person complain on Twitter. They complained about a poor network of BSNL, and they were not getting, and they were really frustrated. So we have our systems for social listening and everything. We are getting deployed. BSNL tried to respond it after 3-4 hours, but when they tried to respond it within 3-4 hours, in the meantime, there was a message from Airtel network handle within 3 minutes of the tweet that if you are not getting this, kindly share your PIN code. The audience has shared his PIN code, and then Airtel has shared a network diagram and a network signal strength of that particular area. And within this 3-hour timeline, till the time BSNL was responding to that query, the number has been already requested for portability by Airtel. So this is like, this wasn't a B2B segment, but yeah, what the point that I want to make is just try to follow, be diligent on this part. Like whenever there is a comment, try to follow up. Otherwise, your competitors are also looking into this part, so they can take the advantage of it. When it comes to YouTube, try posting how-to videos. So how-to videos are the best type of videos on YouTube. These are actually tailored for your audiences. You can have your group of created over there, and you can share how-to videos on YouTube. Now, the last part is Instagram. Remember, you are posting about your brand. So share authentic brand insider image. No Photoshop image, no infographics, nothing. That will not going to work in Instagram. So for Instagram, real image, real videos, that will definitely going to give you more insight, more engagements. Okay, choosing the right social media channel. In this chapter, we will learn about choosing the right social media channel and type of engagement as per super specialty segment in pharma. So I tried to create 5-6 use cases wherein segment by segment we will be choosing like what all to post, how to post. In fact, this is although this is something like not a benchmark. It will vary from company to company, brand to brand, but yeah, depending upon the audiences, we have tried to create this. So for CNS division, neuro and psychiatric audience group, your group of audience should be corporate employee, government employees and influencers. in any of the social media. The top 3 social channels which you are going to use will be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, assuming at this point of time, Facebook and Instagram has the maximum number of doctors available in this, majority of the doctors are available in Facebook and Instagram. The youngsters are in Instagram, but majority of the doctors are in Facebook as of now. And finding doctors in Facebook is much more easier in comparison to Twitter as well as LinkedIn also when you are going ahead with the paid advertisements. So what to post? What are the different type of posts? So awareness, frequently asked questions, any kind of expert advices. You can also think about brain activity, games and quizzes. So these are the things which will be binding your audiences, and this will be actually helpful in the CNS division. Now, let us go to the pediatric segment. What will be the target audience? Maybe working women, corporate employees, the Anganwadi, NGOs, A&M workers. So these will be the group of audiences. Top 3 channels will be Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. So trying to address Pinterest and Instagram and Facebook, these 3 things will be doing miracle in the case of pediatric. So if you have a pediatric product or pediatric segment, in fact, you should go ahead and focus on these 3 channels. This does not mean that you will not be present in the other channel. Be available in all the channels, in fact, but the majority of the engagement and activity should happen in the top 3 channels like Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. What to post? Do's and don'ts about the child care, vaccination awareness and reminders, children growth trackers, hobbies, interest, culture, sports, parenting trips, nutrition. These are the different type of things which you can choose, and you can be creative in any of this and try to put it up. More engagement is supposed to follow in these 3 social networks, in fact. Let us take gynecology. Again, it will be having a close similarity like the pediatric. So working women, corporate employees, Anganwadi, NGO, A&M workers. So these are the groups you can search for, and you can convert the audiences on this group to your groups, in fact. And top 3 channel will be Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. So majority what to post will be women health risk, pregnancy related posts, period calendar, pregnancy calendar, supplements, nutrition, diets, and support groups. So these are the different posts which you can share it on the platforms. Now oncology part, assuming an oncology is super specialty and lot of risk factor actually associated with oncology. So here, a student, working group, NGO, public health worker, PHCs, rehabilitation centers, and influencers. These all people can come up in the oncology part. And Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, ranking like first Facebook, then Instagram, and then Twitter. These are the 3 things, 3 channels which can work well for the oncology segment. What to post, like do's and don'ts, maybe patient like me, patient support group, any kind of motivations, battling with cancers, influencer talks. And you can also create patients like me in the regional languages. You can create regional groups, in fact. So that will be really better, in fact. Diabetic metabolism, cardiac. So audience group will be corporate employees again, and those employees who are staying away, they will be actually the voice of their family. In fact, they can be the influencer in their family. So corporate employees, government employees, influencer, working groups. Again, these are the different audience group. And the top 3 channels will be Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So this 3, Twitter being one of the most popular for preventive health checkup and for fitness freaks, in fact. So Twitter will be one of the good channel for diabetic metabolism and cardiac. What to post, any kind of preventive healthcare, FAQs, patient monitoring, digital therapeutics, lifestyle disorders. So these are the different way to go ahead and post in a diabetic metabolism and cardiac part. Any kind of nutrition supplements, or we can take it maybe in the OTC segment also. The top 3 channels will be Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and nevertheless, Twitter will also be helping it. Preventive healthcare, FAQs, and nutrition benefit and calorie tracking. These all things can come up handy with nutrition supplements. So audience group will be fitness enthusiasts, gyms, yoga, marathon, dieting, young corporate employees, students staying away from families. So these are the different type of audiences which you can try to build out around the nutrition and supplement. Okay. A quick bonus tip. This is something called as the rule of thirds. So rule of third, what it actually say that 33%. So it is something like 33% should promote your business, convert reader, and generate profit. 33% should surface and share ideas from the thought leaders and pioneers in your industry or like-minded business. And 33% should be based on conversing with other and building your brand through engaging with people. And if you are sticking to this rules of thirds, you can keep your audience engaged, informed, and interested in whatever you have to say. So try to understand. So these are the different tips which we have to give it at this point. Some case studies, top pharma companies in social media. I just want you to search it. Nevertheless, these are the 6 leaders in the social media at this point. And rank wise, 2022, Boehringer, AbbVie, and GSK, Pfizer, Novo Nordisk, and Novartis. I would request everybody of you, if you are a brand planner, if you are working on the social media, if you have your own company, if you are working in pharma, so at least try to go ahead and take inspirations from their social media handle, irrespective of the social media channel. Try to see what kind of posts they are doing. There are a lot of insights actually what is happening, and you can also see the engagement levels. In fact, this is an activity for you. You can do it at your free time. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I would like to rest this session here itself. We will be opening for Q&A. But before the question and answer, I will just take you with an important update. We have something for you this time, PharmaState and MyRx. We have created a social media Kickstarter pack for individual. If you are an individual looking to build your brand in social media, and along with the pharma companies, if you are starting the social media, if you are any level in the social media, we have a social media Kickstarter pack. It is actually a course which will be course, and along with the tools and along with the templates, which will be having creating your social media profile, optimizing your social media profile, majority important free tools for social media management, social media publishing policy, what should be a corporate policy. So this draft we are also providing over here, creating content calendars. So how to create content calendars, we have different templates about it. Social listening and monitoring, how to socially listen and how to monitor do's and don'ts of social media, measuring the social media success. Multiple templates are there, and this we are launching it on 2nd of September, and we have an offer for it, all of you this time. You can pre-book now. You can get a flat 50% off, which is like 4,800 rupees course. You will be getting it only on 2,400, but it is worth it. It actually comprises precise things which you can imbibe in your own brand as well as your company's brand. It is a good to have. After the sessions, Satish will be sharing the links actually. So whoever is interested, they can go and they can book it. It will definitely be worth it actually. Thank you. And now Satish and Swati, we will be opening the session for question and answers. Hopefully I have taken a bit of long time, but the topic is vast. I cannot help it out. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sourav. Thank you, Gauri ma'am. What a wonderful session. This is one of the sessions where the audience remained hooked to whatever was being said and shared on screen. There are questions, there are a plethora of questions, there are perspectives, comments, some important update also that one of our participants have given us. We will announce that. Wonderful session. Thank you, Gauri ma'am. Awesome to learn why we should be on social media, and wonderful to learn sort of how this should be done in the limited time span that we had. You tried to give a lot of things also related to therapy areas and disease segments. That is awesome. We can see comments related to that. There is one special question that I would take up first and answer it from my side only because we are the platform for that. The question is coming: where to find people, Aurora? How do we go about finding the right person to lead the social media management in a pharma company? The right person, the skilling part. Someone who understands the nuances, the content generation aspect from writing to design and more. These type of queries now keep coming. Companies are actually posting jobs with requirements like these, that the person should be able to handle the social media engagement of the company, of the brand, etc. This is happening. We are seeing that in LinkedIn also, in many channels. We are getting some queries related to that, and the same query has come up here. As a platform for skilling up in pharmaceutical space, we are there, and this is why we have designed the program. See, no one is going to come from some other planet and do that job. We will have to skill ourselves up. We will have to, choose the person either within our company or search from someone outside the industry and give that responsibility, give them a free hand to experiment in this space, social media space, which is very, very important. And for that, you have to skill up. You have to learn the skills. The way Mr. Sourav or Ms. Gauri presented, a person should be there in your company who can take care of these nuances, take care of content, take care of how should we be handling the complaints, how should we be dealing with KOLs. And for that, I will just take a minute to share the program that we are starting, which Sourav also mentioned. So I hope the screen is visible. This is India's first pharma-focused digital marketing program. It is starting from 3rd September. Corporates are also welcome to sponsor their candidates. Individuals are also welcome to join us in this. This is the digital transformation, and queries and jobs are being posted on how a person can handle that portfolio of digital marketing for a pharma company, for that matter. So we have released this. It is available at PharmaState Academy website. Digi Pharma Pro is the course. It is quite a, not a long, not a short one. It's the duration of the course is 4.5 months, 18 weeks course. Batch is starting from 3rd September. Precise and targeted syllabus. You may have seen how Sourav delivered the exact therapy area segment related information. So he is the main educator also there, along with Mr. Salil Kalyanpur. And this is group learning, peer-to-peer discussion with one-on-one mentoring would be there. India's first pharma-focused digital marketing course. You may be seeing a lot of digital marketing courses. Many of us would be taking a certificate from Google or something and like that. But the implementation in pharma is the key problem. What are the laws? What is the engagement? Those questions will be answered in this particular program. What is special? You will be given real-time projects. The curriculum is pharma-focused. There will be peer-to-peer learning. Sessions will be taken majorly by Mr. Sourav Das and Mr. Salil, but there will be special guests who will be taking up special topics. Even Gauri ma'am would be there on one of the topics, and many industry people would be joining us in guest lectures, along with out of industry segments also. So you will have few speakers who will be coming outside pharma industry and giving some insights. There will be 1-year support to the person whosoever is enrolling. You will be getting assistance from our site throughout the year, and you will be learning the latest digital tools. The information is up and there running at the website, PharmaState Academy website. You can go there and enroll to it. I hope the cost would not be a major issue here, because this is quite economical cost given the start that we have to make in this sector. I'll stop sharing, and thank you for being there. We'll take up questions, very interesting questions here coming up. At the start itself, I'll thank Mr. Harish Chawla. He pointed out that on Twitter, the information has changed. 280 characters is the limit now, and not capturing reply and image video since few years. So thank you, Mr. Harish, for pointing that out. We'll take care that this information goes correctly. Okay, let me start with the questions. One question is coming on for Mr. Ajit. For a pharmaceutical company, which KPI matters the most, reach or engagement? Is it the reach or the engagement? He's saying, I believe it is engagement. So in the previous financial year, Venus Remedies has the highest engagement on social media platforms. So he is like pointing out a question, which would be the most important KPI for a pharmaceutical company? Gauri ma'am, any takes on this question?
Yeah, I would like to say, of course, it's engagement. There is no doubt about it, but not at the cost of undermining reach. The reason being that if your brand does not reach, it is not seen. So there is something called optimal number of customers to whom your brand has to reach. Suppose I have fantastic engagement with 15 doctors or 20 doctors, it doesn't help me. And I mean, doctors, patient, caregivers. So coming from an advertising background, I understand the importance of media and therefore not only reach, but also the frequency of that interaction. And of course, the engagement. All the three are very important criteria. The end goal has to be engagement, but it should never be, should it be reach versus engagement? It should be reach, it should be frequency and engagement.
Thank you. Thank you, Gauri ma'am. I'll take up one more question. Sourav, are you there?
Yeah, Swati, I'm here, but I'm unfortunately unable to start my video. Not an issue. I'm here itself.
Yeah. So Sourav, this question is for you from Mr. Swaroop. How to understand pain points of target audience on social media? How is social listening done to understand this?
So Swarupda, this is actually a long process. In fact, when you are going forward, you have to continuously see what all are the contents you're creating and which contents are getting more engagements, and then involving with your consumer or with your audiences, identifying the pain area. It will be taking some time, but you should be having some some templates to capture those, and then you will be deriving it.
Yeah, can I?
Yeah, and believe me, you will be getting some of the templates, the predefined templates in this, like in the course that we are launching on 2nd of September. In fact, you will be getting that predefined, so you can use that to at least doing the persona of your audiences.
Yes, Swati, can I pitch in?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. So adding to what Sourav just said, and what I have in the past done is straight away using web crawlers. There are enough web crawlers available today. They crawl through social media. They crawl through Google reviews. They crawl through conversations across internet channels. So you just use them, apply them. And the beauty of these crawlers is that you can actually immediately convert it into Excel. The minute you convert it into Excel, apply sentiment analysis and also look for keywords. There are certain words which keep coming, and those kind of conversation, like for example, I have looked at some dental brands, and very interestingly, we figured out, what was the need of the consumers in this country in the OTC space, because everybody believes that Colgate has kind of dominated everything. There's nothing that Colgate has left, and they cannot be challenged to Colgate. But you just realize what customers want today is very different from what is being, offered in terms of dental health. Most of these crawlers are available free of charge. All it takes is a good person who can convert it, because it's time consuming. And when I say time consuming, doesn't mean even hours. It would mean a couple of hours, and that's it. And that's how you can beautifully do listening.
Yeah. So this is the technical know-how that we need to develop in our people. Right, ma'am. Satish, can you unmute Mr. Swaroop? He wants to ask a related question. Mr. Swaroop.
Sure. Just give me a second. Yeah. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, Mr. Swaroop, you can interact.
Yeah.
Hi, Gauri ma'am. Hi, Sourav. Thank you for an excellent presentation. There was a lot of take home to take from here. And thanks for that tips on the web crawlers. Definitely we'll try it out. But what do you think about, getting to know when you are on the Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook platform? Does polls and does, some engaging questions help, which could be in a contest fashion also, wherein you get to know what they want to know?
Yes, absolutely. This is helping out. In fact, we have a live example of PharmaState, in fact. So
I was saying that.
Swati, you will be the best person to answer it. Just give the example of PharmaState Academy, how PharmaState Academy is trying to engage through polls and gifts also, and what will the engagement? So Satish and Swati, you can please.
Yeah, so Sourav said this all, we will have to strategize here. So what we have done as a tech platform, a platform which is for the knowledge purposes, we generally create content before even doing the sessions, scheduling the session, and we do polls. So where you will see a lot of engagement coming, and we get actually targeted people who are interested in learning about the topic. So engagements are high there. Polls are helping us a lot. If you want us to show the reports, that would not be possible today, but it is helping us in that fashion. But it depends, we are in that business where we are as a knowledge platform, we want to support the companies. You are in a different business, so you will have to understand your audience, how much they would be engaging in that format, and what type of questions actually will help in a poll or survey.
Yeah, so just to understand, like when I'm talking about the companies Sourav is working, so it is specifically for dermatology. So what you can do is like you can have polls for skin cares, along with that any kind of cosmetic uses. So these are the different type of polls wherein you can have a lot of engagement. You can start it with 1 or 2 in a month, and you can also have a giveaway, maybe the poll winner to engage it. Maybe it can be in the format of your maybe some free samples or packs, which you can maybe in the OTC segment, not on the RX part, but you can try to give away that part, or maybe some generic coupons of Amazon or Flipkart or anything. So this will be helping out. So at least people participates for they will be participating for a cause. In fact, okay, I want to prove myself. I want to have updated knowledge. So in this way, it is something like silently educating the customer. And polls and survey, we are strong believer of that, and this is working actually.
Yeah, Satish, please unmute Swaroop sir. I think he wants to engage more.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sourav. We'll definitely implement that. And Dr. Swati, whenever the right time comes, you can take up my question to Gauri ma'am also.
Sure. I'll take up that. We have a lot of questions coming in actually. So I'll take up Swaroop sir. Please stay connected here. One question has come, rather a comment has come from 𝐒𝐞𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐨 Hussain. First, he compliments you on very relevant presentation on CNS. He can see what's trending in CNS segment. He is saying, though mentally active user is high in Facebook, but the relevant content on healthcare is minuscule.
Absolutely.
Which platform is more apt for prescription market?
Unfortunately, like this is coming up for the selling of the prescriptions. In fact, there are a lot of restrictions about it. So there are more platforms coming up for only doctors platforms. There are platforms like startups coming up for the specific doctors marketing. So doctors will be increasing your RX product impact. So try to use those platforms. We will try to put up some of the platforms in the course wherein you can go ahead and you can at least put up your articles or contents over there. So to engage with the doctors, that will be giving you RX boost impact. But at this point of time, I agree. Yes, when it comes to the medical information on Facebook, it is minuscule. But yeah, Facebook, it is actually used by the youngsters, and anybody can be in that mental phase actually when you are talking about the CNS division impact. So keeping them aware will be important. It is a matter of time. So we can see the engagement level on healthcare activities high on Facebook in coming days.
Thank you, sir. I'll take up the next question. Gauri ma'am, if you can answer this one. This is a general quandary, a confusion which is there. I think we will have to do more sessions on the same topic. We are present. Mr. Chandan Bose has put this question. We are present on FB, Insta, Twitter, and LinkedIn, but only doing wishing and phishing. Okay. how to reach out to our doctors and why should doctors visit our platform? That question.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, that's the million-dollar question. And the answer to that is only understanding what they want. So point is that, I mean, somewhere we know the frequency of your posts are important, but what are you saying in that post? Is anyone even interested? So for a very technical answer to this question is that see what's happening on MedTwitter. MedTwitter is one of the most discussed medical science platform with hashtag MedTwitter, and there are millions and billions of doctors there to do some serious chat. Here the questions are real, here the cases are real, and that's what they're talking. Now, if you know what they are saying, if you know where the questions are coming and how other peer groups are answering those, it's the best way is to stay with it. Now, obviously, it has to have relevance to your marketing strategy. That content. I mean, you can't go off the track and talk about something which has nothing to do with your brand. But these are the places, or even doctors group. So if you are a pharma company and if you have head of the medical division who engages on specific doctor groups on Facebook where the lay people have no entry, but be there, listen to conversations and participate in it and do all these polls, contests, quizzes, but don't do it empty, because today customers and the people know that you're just doing it, to be there. When you do a poll, let the answer to that poll be relevant to your doctors and patients. Then it makes sense. Just doing it for the heck of it today, nobody is then interested. So right hashtagging, being present in, if it's a doctor brand, then being present in the doctors group, having right hashtags, being on the MedTwitter, daily roundup, these are the places where you have to be. And if you are not admitted because of the group restriction or the criteria, be present there through one of your medical directors or medical person. That is my answer, probably.
I would also like to pitch in, Gauri ma'am, over here. The question is like, we all, whenever we, join a social network, we have something to share, we share it. And later on, we generally go out, lack of contents actually. We don't know what to post, how to post. Maybe we don't have that time. We don't have that energy. We don't have that mindset at this point. Or maybe you are too occupied to put it up. So everybody want to have good content in social media, but they end up wishing and going ahead with the festival wishes or anything. So it will be better for you if you are willing to invest in social media. It's better to have a content strategist, or maybe you can open up some roles in your company wherein like you can have creative thinkers who can go ahead with the copywriting, content writing part. You can hire some agencies part. And if you are already on all the social media, this is actually a bad thing to say, but I should say it, that this festival post and other things will not help you in a longer run. It is just only that, okay, we are available, but we are not adding any value to the audiences. So slowly we will not be able to generate the audience list. Actually, we will not be able to have more subscribers to the groups. So this is the right time, when you are already available in the platform, try to think to outsource the process to a digital agency, or else hire somebody who will be dedicated for the social media.
Thank you, Sourav. Thank you, Gauri ma'am. Kiran Das sir is also here. Welcome, Kiran sir. He has also tried to add to the points that our speakers made. He said one of the answers would be to think of how many of our physical call customers we cover through field force prescribe the brand. So very aptly put, Kiran sir. Sourav and Gauri ma'am also says these things, that every call that you make in a physical format doesn't give you prescription. That is how but it influences your keyword. That is what is going to happen in social media. Every post that you make, if it is relevant, it is going to influence your doctor and prescribe the brand. Thank you, Kiran sir.
Kiran sir is here. Sir, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you. First, let me compliment the entire team of PharmaState and both Gauri and Sourav for the wonderful session. It was really quite relevant, quite directive. Just to answer to this question, or rather give a perspective to the people thinking about why social media, why to be there. It's a very relevant question that the gentleman had asked. Why is it that the doctors would be interested in your post? Nobody is interested in your post, first thing, unless the post is interesting. So content is king. And most importantly, just as Sourav has just mentioned just a couple of minutes back, it is important that you should have a strategy behind it. And when you're looking at it, unfortunately, what I see of late is the digital strategy is no way in sync with the rest of the strategy. It seems to be running parallelly in a different direction. Unless you look at strategy as a whole for your brand, for your organization, the digital strategy is going to fail. When you look at it as part of your strategy rather than a separate standalone activity, it is not going to make an impact. If you want to have a prescription impact, there has to be a connect between your overall strategy and your digital strategy. Your digital strategy should complement or rather play the role of a accelerator for your main strategy. That's just my take on it.
Okay, to everyone over here, I would like to let you know, like when I started MyRx, my first customer, corporate customer, my digital guru, and along with the person who has guided me, and along with that was always been passionate about digital is Mr. Kiran Das. Kiran sir, thank you for being there. And actually, we can have a separate case study on Pulse Pharmaceutical specifically with all the tools, all the analytics they have been doing till now. And it is great to see companies great to see Kiran Das sir with a different mindset all the time. In fact, thank you sir for being there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kiran sir.
Thank you, sir.
So, yeah, thank you, sir. And these are the points that are very important for pharma companies, social media management. Let me ask another question. Okay, this is a very, very specific question. Rushali has asked, please suggest top 3 channels for preterm labor, vaginal infection, vulvovaginal, and all those things. These are very specific topics, Rushali. Some hints may have been given already through this session. But for that, you will have to, sort out the things. You can join the course also that we are starting, DigiPharma Pro. Okay, one question has come from a new company. Mine is a new pharma company in gynecology segment. Please advise on how to develop the social media content. In which social media platform should I prefer? Is WhatsApp okay? I'll take this up. Is WhatsApp okay? Sourav and Gauri ma'am, your thoughts about WhatsApp.
So WhatsApp, now it is a lot of engagements are happening in WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a one-on-one communication and a broadcasting platform. We need to understand. So when it comes to one-on-one, we need to have an audience list of WhatsApp. We can generate it physically or maybe digitally also. We can have subscriber in WhatsApp, our own WhatsApp of business. We can have WhatsApp APIs also. WhatsApp is a beautiful platform which can be taken up with the power of chatbots. Wherein you can engage with your audiences with a lot of frequently asked questions. So you can think about a WhatsApp strategy, but when you're coming about a new company, so this is something like my advice to you will be like, all the big companies out here, they have their strong presence in the physical world. And now they are trying to adapt digital into their day-to-day culture, day-to-day activities. So being in a new company, it is always advisable to go ahead maybe with a significant amount of digital spend so that at least you can go and reach out to the uncharted territories, in fact. And it is always beautiful for young companies to be agile enough, and having that proper mindset for digital will help you out in going ahead with the digital part. In gynecology segment, if you have your channels, you can definitely think of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, along with that Pinterest. So these are the 4 things. Apart from that, you can also go ahead with following doc tweeters, and along with that, there are other handles wherein you can join the groups and you can take the leverage for your reach actually. So this time, this point of time, the only piece of advice will be try to increase your reach and try to reach out to as many people as possible in the first and second years, and then slowly and steadily start your engagements.
Thank you, sir. Gauri ma'am, your views about WhatsApp. Earlier, it was not seen as a platform which will give results in this manner, business manners, but it has, taken over every sort of engagement that you can do on a platform.
Right. I mean, it's absolutely, see, a medium and the message. These are two clear things. So one is that medium reaching out to your target audience? So I sometimes feel that when question is like, how do I reach out to my, with my gynae brands to my customers? The first question is, who is your customer? And then once one targeted segment, I mean, who is your customer? What is that person's persona? Is that person connected through the medium one is talking about? So most of us in India are connected through WhatsApp. The only loophole there is that if you land up pushing too many messages, you're going to be blocked. And WhatsApp, and if it happens on multiple places, WhatsApp is going to take a strong action and you would have a problem later. So as long as, so it's in the end the same. The medium is fantastic. Do you have the content? And whatever content you have, is it wanted by the customer? So they would not either block you or not open your brand, your message. So otherwise, every medium is a fantastic medium as long as it's reaching to the customers.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for answering this one. Another question from Sourav sir again. In cosmetology, many brands manufactured under cosmetic license are both prescribed by doctors and also purchased directly by users. So in both they are placed. For prescription brands in cosmetics, which can be used by patients without doctor's prescription, should the brand manager have two handles, one for patients or lay public and one for doctor, as content would vary?
My take on this will be like many handle will be difficult to handle.
Okay. Sourav,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, Gauri ma'am, can you please take up the question?
So as a strategy, you should have just one handle. Even your target audience is slightly different. Your handle has to be same. Your medium can change. Like if you want to talk something really serious about it, go to Twitter, go to Facebook, groups through that handle, but don't change the handle. Your handle is your brand's personality, and we don't want split personalities in our branding worlds. We want genuine one personality. So it's very important that you have just one handle. But depending on who you're targeting, your messaging can change and your medium can change, because we know doctors and the lay public are engaging differently on different platforms. So that would be a short and sweet answer to this.
Thanks. May I?
Yeah, please, sir.
My first question was exactly when you were talking about the RX brand, right? In cosmetology, the products which are manufactured comes under cosmetic license. Hence, we have the license to go directly to the public without going through the doctors, right? So, so what according to you is the definition of RX brand in this particular category?
Yeah. So my definition of RX brand is purely from the regulatory point of view. So it's a Magic Remedy Act. So if I'm not allowed to go, so ideally I should directly go to everyone who is my customer, currently customer or potential customer. But if it's a scheduled drug, if I am not supposed to reach out to patients directly, and therefore I consider it prescription brand. So if you're allowed, you must go direct. There's no, let your handle be directly your brand name, because you're allowed to do it. Then why find surrogate ways? But for some reason, if yours is a scheduled drug, if yours is a prescription must drug, then you can't do it. So the answer to your question is go directly if you're allowed to go.
Yeah, and you got to also, there's a fine line here. You go to doctors, generate prescription, you create customers, and you tend to encash upon those customers for retention through social media. So you have to very appropriate with your content in terms of information dissemination in the therapy area you're dealing with, even for non-RX categories.
Absolutely. So we have taken, I was part of the team which took, lot of prescription brand OTC, like Digene, Pediasure, 7Cs, you name it. And I have kind of, that time, this was always a question that when I'm reaching to patients and I'm reaching to doctors, how do I have the balance so that, doctors suddenly don't feel what I'm speaking is directly to customers and their role is less. So it is an art by itself that so when we were advertising it on TV, we were very careful of our messaging. So what you say, our medium was TV, but yet our messaging was such that we never antagonized doctors. And today, the size of these brands like Pediasure and others. But that fear was always there. So that balance, that nuance, marketing and brand building has to be there. But having said that, handle has to be the same and go directly.
Thank you. Just one question on the Cetaphil move. What's the inside story? Has it led to the prescription business going down, or it's not impact?
At least the data that I have has just not gone down unless you have any contrary data. Cetaphil today is vouched by dermatologists. Of course, derma is a different field. I mean, you know it better than me. A lot of other things work there pretty well. But having a strong brand equity always works for the doctors as well as for the customers. So I don't think it should ideally reduce, the number of prescriptions. But in case if you are seeing that happening, then there might be some other reasons. I mean, I wouldn't say the reason is purely because you are out there and it's not only in India. Cetaphil is on social media all over the world. So it's not only in India that's happening.
That's true. That's true. The mindset of the doctors over a period of last 10 years have changed. They are accommodative of brands coming on the social media. And if they do good things in terms of educating patients, they have no worries. So basically doctors, came to terms with it 10 years back, and we in the pharma, we are knowing it after 10 years. It's good to be there in social media.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Gauri ma'am. Kiran Das sir would like to add, Satish, if you can unmute.
Hello. Yeah, a very interesting question regarding Cetaphil. And I think, Gauri has already informed about the way it was taken forward. Just for any marketeer, it is the fear of loss which prevents you from trying something new. What if you are losing 30% of your prescription, but gaining 80% at the consumer level? Would you like to do it or not? That's the question you have to ask. There's always a trade-off. If you are able to understand the trade-off properly in your mind, do a simulation, understand what impact it is going to have on your brand, what is your primary drivers for the brand today versus what is the primary driver for the brand tomorrow, you can make this choice. Not all brands, in my opinion, making it very clear, in my opinion, require a social media presence. There are some brands which do not make any sense having a social media presence as far as I see. And I think one of the slides did mention that if you are beyond the 5th brand, you should not even look at being on the social media or investing too much. There's always a space to invest money. You have to see where does your money get you the biggest bang. As far as Cetaphil is concerned, if you really track their growth, you will see that that's one of the biggest success of moving from pure prescription to OTC or OTX category. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiran sir. These are very interesting insights coming from speakers and everyone here. Due to the paucity of time, what we'll do now, we'll take up direct interactions, 3 interactions at most, and after that we will close the program for today. Satish, if you can allow participants to unmute and raise their hands. So first 3 people who raise their hands can interact. Mr. Arijit Chaudhary, I can see, has done it. So please, Mr. Arijit, if you can.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My question is, what I wanted to ask is, will both the presentations be available to me? So, because I have been going through this and I want to share it with my digital team. So, will these presentations be available to me?
Ajit sir, the way we do it, as such, the presentation, PPT will not be there, but the whole recording of the video is available free for everyone to go through as many times as possible. at YouTube channel of PharmaState Academy, at LinkedIn channel of PharmaState Academy, and even at our website where we put this. So you can easily assemble your team and start the session in the format of a video. Free for call. Free. This is all free. Nothing, no charge.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And is Sourav sir there?
Yeah, Sourav.
Yes.
Sourav sir, I'm about to launch a supplemental lifestyle product from an American-based company. So Gauri ma'am has already clarified me many things like going direct. Okay. So now regarding the usage of LinkedIn, you have more or less I have got clarity. I just want to know one thing. Some people are very skeptical, receiving constant messages. So that is a risk do I take?
Okay, so you are talking about the spamming part, right?
Yeah.
So direct messages, yes, you should have a policy through your corporate, to your company, to govern it, like how many messages should go. You should respect the privacy of the audience. If somebody is unsubscribing or unfollowing, that is fine. And the next thing what I can say about it is like you try to put up social media messages or posts. Those who are your followers, they will be seeing it. They will not be minding of spamming. In fact, they will always be seeing some new contents coming in, but they will be scrolling up. Not an issue. Direct messages, you should govern it through a policy, like how many messages should be there without spamming. Because anyway, after all, and like we are talking about the business part of the social media, but many of the audiences are here for the entertainment purpose, and this is a personal space actually. So you need to have a proper balance between your post. Until unless your posts are engaging, are entertaining, and along with that, informations are rich in your post, nobody will be minding about the spamming. In fact,
now you have very vehemently said that do not sell. So that I take it as my take-home point today.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ajit. Ms. Neha, you can interact with our speakers today.
Hi, everybody. This is I have a question about a new drug that we're planning to launch. It is a first in the world drug for something that hasn't been addressed before. And we, to be very honest with you, our journey with social media has been very poor. We don't have the skill set internally to fully utilize it. But we are very, very clear that we do want to. We have to interact with both patients as an awareness building as well as doctors for a very specialized need. Now, my first question is, it's a two-part question. The first is, while there are people who are interested in developing their skills, I've seen in the past with what limited we've done with them, it hasn't worked out too well. So where do you think I could find people who are relevant in this space, who could help design and run the program efficiently? And secondly, you mentioned earlier that there should be one handle for both doctors and patients or general awareness building. How do we go about building out that strategy? Because it's not just an India-focused program, it's a global program.
All right. Okay.
And thank you. Your session was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you, Neha. Neha, I would like to tell you first thing first, if you are not present in social media or it has been poor, it is not new to the industry. The ecosystem is growing and it is supposed to be like this only. In the initial days, you will not be finding talents, you will not be finding the proper contents, but at least when the ecosystem is evolving at this point of time and you are rightly placed at this moment, and when you are targeting India as well as abroad, this is the right time to go ahead with the strategy. For second thing, the question that you have asked, like how to differentiate between patient as well as doctor. I am asking you to have a single handle, in fact, a single page in your social media, but you can have different groups. And the groups will be closed user group. In fact, you can have different group for patient, different group for doctors. And believing that you are into new scientific information and new developments, so the content for doctors will be separate from patient, which you don't want a patient to know about it. So you can have your content designed separately for both the groups. This is the second question. And third thing that you asked, finding the right talent, and along with that, so PharmaState MyRx is here. If you want to go ahead with the strategies, we will be happy to help you and collaborate with you in your digital and social media part. So we definitely have companies with us going ahead with the social media part. We will be happy to, support you.
I would actually really appreciate that. That was going to be my next question, is if you guys do
Yes,
consulting.
Very much. The consulting as well as the tech part, the training part, the entire social media being covered.
Fantastic. Can you connect with me post this session? How do I connect with you guys?
Swati.
Sure. No, Neha, we have your mail ID since you registered before Zoom, right?
Yeah.
So I'll connect directly.
Excellent.
With the engagement. And the question that you asked, that where do I find those people who can do this? The answer is again social media. Those who are active on social media will be handling social media.
True. Very true.
Okay. Awesome. You guys were fantastic. It's the first time I liked the social media session ever. So excellent job.
Thank you, Neha.
Thank you.
Anyone who also wants to interact, this would be the last interaction that could possibly happen within 2.5 hours. Now means 2 hours, 10 minutes. Anyone who wants to interact, or I'll take up a question that is very important, has come up. No one, so I'll take the question. This is a debate going on, and I want the debate to be discussed. There are many views that will happen. There was also reference in the comments about a video, Vikram Betal video, which went viral. Yes. So that question, that comment I'll take up. And another was, which is coming, direct to customer advertising of pharmaceutical products in an increasingly used but widely debated practice. What if the government put restrictions for pharma companies to engage with HCPs on social media to stop the bad practices by pharma companies? Ma'am, this is a debate.
इसको तो इस तरीके से आंसर करना चाहिए. अब तो फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनीज को ही बंद करना पड़ेगा, गवर्नमेंट अगर ऐसे करना. So it is something like they are restricting on every aspect. So this is not possible because government is actually focusing on digital part. It is very less likely to restrict somebody. You shouldn't go ahead and talk to doctors on social media. This is very unlikely to happen. But if it happens, then perhaps some new platform will be coming up.
Gauri ma'am, your perspective on this debate.
Yeah, sorry, I missed the question a little bit because I was away for a minute. So if I understand, whether doctors, pharma companies are stopped to reach out to doctors through social media, is it?
Ma'am, yeah, the question is, what if the government put restrictions for pharma companies? Government has put certain restrictions very recently through which pharma is reeling under some big policy decision changes which is happening related to samples, skips and all. The apprehension is, what if the government puts restrictions for pharma companies to engage with HCPs on social media to stop the bad practices and like that?
Yeah, but there are so many social media. Doctors have their own wonderful social media, platforms. They have their own networking platforms. And we also in India have some unique platforms where only doctors interact. So first and foremost, you have to be there, on those platforms. Point number one. Point number two is that it's very less likely that to happen if our industry follows the ethics, because in the end, if there are too many brands reaching out, through virality, there is a possibility of that happening. So it's very important that industry keeps the basic act of Magic Remedy Act and how not to reach to patient directly with the messages which are not meant for them. So if that care is taken, I don't think that would happen. And pharma would therefore need not worry.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Amit, you want to add to something here? Satish, can he unmute? Yeah.
Hello. Hi. Hi, everyone. right from the beginning, a very fantastic talk and a fantastic discussion. I just want to comment on this last point that came up about the regulatory restrictions. So, and the fact that somebody said that the government cannot restrict, otherwise we'll have to close down the pharma industry. That's like a way exaggeration of what can and will happen. See, restrictions are required. Period. There is no debate on that. And that is why the restrictions on the gifting and all the other things came about, because it was getting out of hand. And instead of normal promotional marketing, it was becoming transactional marketing. So, but anyway, that's a separate point. Coming to the social media aspect, there will be restrictions and there need to be restrictions about the quality of content. Not about what to do and how to do. It is about what message are you communicating. So the moment there is a discrepancy between what is allowed and what is not allowed, what is direct promotion, what is not direct promotion, there will be restrictions, and we have to be prepared for that. And the only way to prevent that is to not do it. The moment, I mean, one or two companies are doing it, it's just going to be taken in stride. The moment 50 companies start doing it, they will come down heavily, whether you like it or not. And that's the way regulations work. So everybody needs to be very clear about following the ethics of developing the content. And as Sourav had pointed out earlier, what you are communicating in the message is key. If you're transgressing the lines, then we have had it. So we need to be very careful. That is all I wanted to say to everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Abhijit.
Thank you, Mr. Amit. Wonderful. And before closing, I'll share with you, see, the thing that we saw with the Vikram Betal video, maybe the company made it for doctors community because there was a brand name that was being mentioned in that video. And it was circulating. How can you stop if it is in a doctor group and it reached into, it became viral. I received it back from my brother who is a doctor again. So this is like, how will you stop it? There will be restrictions. I agree with you, sir. And we will have to play within the playground that we are allowed to play. So that will happen. But you cannot avoid social media. Even if you ask your children to not, scroll through anything, stop usage, they are going to do it behind the, curtains and scroll through. So social media is there. It will stay. You have to be there in the proper strategic manner that you want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. At last, Sourav, yeah. I was just inviting your comments to close the session and Gauri ma'am's comment to close the session.
Okay, so just in continuation with what Swati said, this is something like we need to understand and classify our communications, what we are trying to do. Social media is a platform, but at the end of the day, what we are trying to do is like establishing the communications. It is actually the sole responsibility of the pharma companies to drive it through a process first, then the strategy. So at least you should know that what to post, when to post, what not to post, what not to communicate. So this not part is supposed to be driven by the company, as well as a constant monitoring of what all communications are going ahead with the doctors on social media. Now, believe me, lot of companies doesn't have this processes, but still there are a lot of MRs, field people who are also started communicating on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and with closed audience groups to the doctors also. So now at the end, it is something like it is everyone's responsibility, each and everyone's responsibility in the pharma industry to go ahead, not to spam, not to misguide, not to sell. I strictly say not to sell. And along with that, let us stop this transaction part in the social media. At least everything that we are going ahead with the social media is getting documented, is getting captured. Nobody ever want to go ahead in that in that part, like if you are going ahead within the transactions or any kind of other activities which are there in the physical world, do not try to replicate it. It is like a clean slate at this point. Try to utilize it to the most. Every platforms can be misutilized, but don't do that as a responsibility part.
Thank you, Sourav. Gauri ma'am, your comments.
I will have only one line to say, and that is, you must know why are you using social media? What's your objective? What are your expected results of your efforts? If that answer is not clear, there is no point wasting time, money, and efforts on social media. And I thought, there's a very clear-cut guideline there, whether you're going to do direct promotion, whether you're going to do indirectly help your brand if you're in one of the important brands, or you are one of those brands which are at the bottom. You have to be very clear why you are using it, and then use it accordingly. That's it. I mean, there is nothing more than that, because it's a very fancy word and everybody would love to believe that they have done a fantastic job. But if it has not brought back the results, it's all waste of time. And please don't add the content, because we already have content overload. So we also ran kind of a thing doesn't help for the brand. So keep brand in mind and keep whys in mind.
Wonderful. Thank you, Gauri ma'am. Nice perspective here also. Be there after knowing what you have to do at that platform. Great. Thank you. A heartfelt thank you to Gauri ma'am and Sourav Das for presenting this session for the benefit of pharmaceutical industry and professionals. Warm, a thanks to Kiran Das sir and Sourav sir also for engaging and directly, getting the answers for your questions and in giving us inputs also. And a big thank you to all the participants who joined us today and stayed for almost 2 hours, 20 minutes on this topic and the platform. We will keep bringing such sessions. This was the 5th session of D-Tips series. There are 12 sessions, and almost on the third Sunday of every month, we bring these sessions for the pharmaceutical industry. See you next month in the same session. And even before any other session happens, we will keep you informed about that. Stay with us, stay connected, keep learning and skill up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chandrachan, we are going to share TG Pharma Pro Digital Marketing. We have your mail IDs since you all attended and registered. We will send the detail in case you are interested for yourself or the team. You can enroll. We will send the details through mail. Thank you so much.
So we are ending the session now. Have a lovely day ahead. Bye.
Bye.